Hello, we are Jorge and Pablo, and we are going to do an analysis of language. Our analysis takes place in Nigeria, where English is spoken. But also, in this country, they speak an pidgin called Nigerian Pidgin.
In this video, we are going to talk about some important aspects that is the history of this pidgin. In this country also we have an official language, and we are going to talk about the population that speak the official language as the pidgin. We are going to make a comparison between the pidgin and the official language, talking about in grammar, and also we are going to see the social values of this pidgin, the diglossia, and the social influence that has this pidgin.
I am going to talk about the history of the Nigerian pidgin. This pidgin has had a lot of changes across the time because this pidgin contains a lot of influences of English, Portuguese, and French. In the year of 1469, Portuguese people arrived to Nigeria, and they established a close relationship very quickly. And so, Portuguese people established church and schools where the Portuguese were taught, for that reason, the Portuguese-based pidgin or language was born. Several years later, French people arrived to this country, Nigeria, and they made some changes in the language. They add some new words or some new grammar rules, but French people doesn't have a lot of influence in the language. In the years of 1650, American people, English people arrived to Nigeria, and they established a close relation very quickly, and they take the control of all the culture of Nigeria. That is why 50 years later, the original Portuguese-based pidgin changed in several ways, like pronunciation, like grammar, like vocabulary. But the 200 years later was when the English-based pidgin or Nigerian pidgin come from. This pidgin is mainly spoken in several regions of Africa, but mainly in Nigeria and the west part of Africa, like Ghana or Liberia. There are 75 million of people that speak this pidgin, but as a second language. Only from 3 to 5 million persons speak this pidgin as a native language or as a Creole. But it doesn't mean that in Nigeria and the west part of Africa, the Nigerian pidgin is the official language, because the official language of that part of the world is the broken English.
Talking about this alphabet, we have 22 consonants that have the same pronunciation as English alphabet, but we have some exceptions in this alphabet, like this symbol, this, and this. This symbol has a similar sound like in English word, the sharp. The next symbol has the similar sound also in English, in this word, you. And this symbol also has a similar sound like in English, in this word is shop, that is shop. Also, we can realize that there are a big influence from other languages, like is the languages that also are spoken in Nigeria. Like these symbols, we have an example of this word, afbo, that is that means herbal medicals. And also another example, afbono, that become the Lapo language. And in this symbol, we have an example also, Kapaku, that becomes of the Yoruba language, also spoken in Nigeria. And the last example, Kapere, that this become from the Edo language. Something very important in grammar here is how to know the phrases or sentences are built. This means that we have 4 categories for this. The first is compounding. In this category, say that we take 2 words from different language and then we have to join to express something. Like in this example, Akara woman, the first word is in Yoruba language and the second word becomes from the English language. Akara woman means a woman who fries and sells beans cake. The next example that we have is occupy, that the first words become from French and the second word become from English language. And this phrase means who lays. And the last example that we have, obasabi, that also we have the oba becomes from the English language and sabi from the Portuguese language. The next category that we have is reduplication. It says that in this pidgin, people take two words that are the same from one language. Like in these examples, boku boku, that become of French language, that means in a large number. The next example that we have, boy boy, that become from English language and means a male household servant. And then we have the last example that is sabi sabi, that become from Portuguese language, that means someone who thinks that he or she knows everything. Then, to make basic sentence, we have this word the, that means is, are, or are, like that are used to express preposition of place. We have an example, me, the market. That means in English, I am at the market. Now we have another example, Mama de Lagos. That means in English, mother is in Lagos. The last category that we have is the negative constructions. We have no for the pidgin, that in English means not, don't, didn't, will not. Is to make sentences in negative form in all the tenses. We have an example, I not come. That means in English, I did not come. And another example that we have, we not come. That means in English, we will not come.
Yeah. Well, talking about the social variants, in the past, people, poor people used to speak the pidgin, the Nigerian pidgin, and the rich people used to speak broken English. But nowadays, schools are teaching this pidgin since primary school. So all the people, no matter if you're poor or the people is rich, they also speak Nigerian pidgin, but in certain situations or about the university. The Nigerian pidgin is spoken in informal situation, like for example talking with your friends, talking with your family. I don't know, in the street, on the market. I don't know, in informal or casual situation that people in which people are. And the broken English is mainly spoken in formal situation, like for example talking about business or in the classroom or I don't know, TV, radio. But the pidgin, as I said, is mainly in informal situation, and that is why you can hear or you can see that people speak this pidgin in movies and songs and I don't know in poems and that's all things.